Hello YouTube! So, today is Vlogvember 2nd, and today I have a treat for you. Long ago, in the long-distant past known as Justin's undergraduate years, I took a class over oral tradition. Much like Steve Jobs' calligraphy class, this was a class not related to my major in any direct way, shape, or form, but it was one that nonetheless impacted me some. I wanted to share with you the final story from my storytelling class. The story of Princess Sheherazade and the Tin Box, based upon an Arabian folktale. Long ago, in a far-off kingdom, lived a very rich king and his very spoiled daughter, Princess Sheherazade. And Princess Sheherazade grew up as most spoiled girls do, being surrounded by the most precious metals. Her toys were made of silver and gold. Her dolls were made of platinum and porcelain, and clothed in the finest silks and cloths of gold. When she wanted a pony, her father bought her 12, saddled in silver and bridled in the brightest rubies. To Princess Sheherazade, it was money that brought her happiness. She spent money, and she found more creative ways of getting money to spend, so that she could be more happy. One day, her father came to her and said, "Darling daughter, now is of the age for you to marry, and you must pick which prince you have." And the daughter thought for a while, and she thought and thought and thought and pondered, and eventually decided upon this. "I will invite the 5 princes of the 5 neighboring kingdoms, and each of them shall bring me the most expensive, luxurious gift that they can think of. And from these gifts I shall pick the prince which makes me the happiest." And so the word was sent to the 5 princes of the 5 surrounding kingdoms, each of them to bring the princess a gift to make her happy. The first prince rode into town on a big black steed, covered in the finest silks, and he brought for the princess a giant apple made of pure gold. And Princess Sheherazade thought this was a fine gift. A fine golden apple could buy her many things. The second prince rode into town upon a fine white steed, his hair combed with flecks of silver. He brought for Princess Sheherazade birds made of diamonds and rubies, sitting upon a tree made of emerald next to a river made of sapphires. And Princess Sheherazade was excited, for this gift was made of precious gems that could be frittled away to buy her more and more happiness. The third prince came to town, riding in a magnificent carriage pulled by several stallions. When he greeted the princess, he brought for her a large platinum box encrusted with gemstones. The princess thought this a fine gift as well. The fourth prince was carried into the kingdom upon the backs of his servants, and he brought for the princess a ruby heart pierced with a golden arrow, to symbolize his love for her and his undying affection. And the princess thought this wonderful as well. Now the 5th prince came from the poorest of the 5 kingdoms, and did not ride into town on anything more than the soles of his own 2 feet. His kingdom was so poor that all he could afford was a small tin box. But along his route, he stopped along the sides of the road and picked up a chunk of feldspar, some agate, some gravel, some hornsblende, the very common and middle gems that he could find. And he filled this box up. And when he got to the palace, the other princes scoffed and laughed at him. Who was this who did not ride into town, but walked as a commoner would? Wear such dirty, downright worn clothing and bring such a pitiful gift?" He presented his gift to Princess Sheherazade, and she squealed with excitement. She had never seen a man with dust upon his face, wearing such exotic clothing. And when she got the gift, she had never seen tin before, and she squealed more with excitement over the present. And when she opened the box up, she saw before her eyes rocks and gems that she had never seen before. Oh, she was so excited. She forgot all about the other princes and began her day playing with her new presents. She made up new games with the rocks to play. She gave each of her dolls one of the gems to hold and pretended they were dignitaries from foreign lands. She placed them upon the bridles of her fastest ponies and raced them to see which gem would be the fastest. And before she knew it, an entire month had passed. There were 5 princes in the kingdom, 5 princes drawing upon the wealth of her father. Her father grew more bitter and said, "Princess Sheherazade, you must choose the man who has made you happiest." Princess Sheherazade sat before the 5 princes. Who do you suppose she picked? She looked upon the gifts and decided that the gift that would make her happiest was the large platinum box. And so she said before the princes, "This box is the finest gift, for on our wedding day, all those that wish to attend shall throw a handful of golden coins into it, and I shall be even more richer than before, and I shall have more gifts to buy myself, and I shall be happy." So the other princes left, went back to their respective kingdoms, never to see Princess Sheherazade again. And as the days went on, Princess Sheherazade bought and frivoled away money, both before and after her wedding day, past when her father died, and when her husband began to rule the kingdom. And every day, whenever she got bored, she would open up that tin box and play around with the rocks. But eventually the rocks got boring as well. And eventually, Princess Sheherazade perished from her own boredom. The lesson to learn from Princess Sheherazade is that when you are faced with your 5 princes, choose happiness, true happiness, over wealth. That was the story of Princess Sheherazade and the Tin Box. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed telling it. Tomorrow I will explain what exactly my master's degree was in. Anyway, see you later.